Right, so I think we're streaming. We are live. Indeed, we are. Very good morning to you. And welcome to today's RC Coffee Chat. Apologies for giggling for the chat going on above my head. So apologies for being a minute or two late. Please don't tell the teacher. Right, what have we got into today's RC Coffee Chat? Number one, Eachine gogglers. We'll be having a look at those. Don't mention the penguin as well. That's the topic for this morning. And the AR Stealth Wing. We will be fixing it. I've got her fixes here with me. Next to me, we'll be taking a look at my new Scooby in a moment. We'll be chatting about the 48 and wherever else we end up going on off topic today, in short. And talking about going off topic, and I blame Andy for was it Andy who no, it was Lee in the chat. We've just been looking at the new FR Sky flight controllers with the receivers built in. They look really, really cool, and I've just been eyeing up the that's the F4. I was looking at the difference between the F4 and the F3. And they've even got little inbuilt current sensors on them. Look really, really cool. But we only actually have 4 PWM outputs. And why is that an issue? Well, it's fine if you're using a quad. You're going to save a few grams. It's going to make wiring it up easier. But I was actually thinking, what would it be like for iNav, in short? And maybe we could change the antennas over and then maybe put some like the X8R antennas on them instead. And maybe get a little bit more range out of the XSR receiver. So yeah, a bit of a curious one. Might need to get my hands on one of those at some point and see what they're like. And no idea if they work with iNav. Don't even know if it's a supported target or not. To be honest, I can't see why not. It's a F4 chip. It's got a receiver on it. It's not anything too scary, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. John says, linky to the flight controllers. Can someone stick a link into the Horus RC website with their new products? Because there's an F3, there's an F4, there's an F3 Pro, there's an F4 Pro, and then there's another F3 board as well. I think Lee had it in the chat a few moments ago. So yeah, have a look on the Horus RC website, and it's under new products. On there, there's a whole page of new stuff, and that's a couple of the new things kicking out. And I was just looking on there, and again, there's no mention of range, so it's well, we're limited by the output. The XSR receiver, so hence why I'm already considering different antennas on there. Thank you, Lee, as well. It's horusrc.com/en for the English. So and Alistair says, hope it works better than the R9. Yeah, there's a few mixed reviews out there on the R9 at the moment, and I did see a video where someone changed the sorry Johnny, someone changed the antenna while it was a TX was powered on. I'm sure that didn't do the transmitter module any good at all. So yeah, again, that's one of the new things about new tech, is that let someone else find the challenges with it first, and if it's any good, then happy days, we'll use it. If it's no good, then I'm sure they'll go on and tweak it. So yeah, very, very curious indeed. And by the way, you can see the chat going on. And ET, you've got some video this week. Happy days. So right, let's get on to topic. Some Eachine googlers or gogglers. This is actually going to stance right on this, right? Okay, even if these goggles are not particularly good, okay, this can only give Fat Shark a kick in the bollocks. There's no other way of phrasing this. The Fat Shark goggles are just stupidly expensive, and I know several people came out and said the V4s are pretty good, okay, and then but if you watch Mr. Joshua Bardwell, he did a comparison between the V4s to the Ionway whatever Commanders, and he made a really, really good point. Actually, they're alright, but I'm going to use the V3s because I can use the boards in the side, and the V4s, I missed it at the time when we were chatting about the Fat Shark V4s, is that you can't actually put a module in there unless you get your knife out and you start hacking out the side of the goggles. So V3s, again, I'm just paraphrasing pretty much, and you need to check the details of what Mr. Bardwell said, but V3s are the better goggles all round, because you can use your diversity modules in the side. So I'm really hopeful that these are going to be pretty good. And again, even if they're not groundbreaking on the side, that they really are going to kick Fat Shark in the knackers, because they are less than 1/3 of the cost of a pair of Fat Sharks, and they don't have diversity. Well, you could argue that even the V4s don't even have diversity in it. The V3s don't, and you've got to buy your board in on top to get diversity. It does have dual antennas, which is not diversity, but you could just stick a pair of clovers on it. It'll be fine. It's a single receiver. It doesn't have DVR, but again, I could say, well, it doesn't have this and it doesn't have that, and I'll go, the answer to that question is it's $100. That's what the answer is going to be. You're going to say, oh, but Matt, it doesn't do this, and Matt, it doesn't that, and I'm just going to come back and I'm just going to say it's $100. You know, I think it's absolutely brilliant. And again, I don't think I'm the only one which is actually really excited about these, which is that if I got to the top, there was something which I only literally noticed this morning. 2,331 people on alert. So that was earlier this morning, and it's now 2,366 people on alert for these goggles. So I do think they've gained a lot of attention already. And again, it comes out in September. And the focal length is pretty much the same as the Fat Sharks. The screen size is comparable, in short. And I'm going to get through all the bleeding spiel in there. It's not bad. And again, this is always one of the biggest things. The bigger boxes are right. You do get a bigger screen on them, but I do personally like the Fat Shark kind of format. And yeah, it's promising. Again, that there isn't. I think we did a cost breakdown on these in the Facebook group a couple of days ago. The irony is the most expensive part is on the screen right now, but you don't realise that it as being a part, it's actually very cheap, which is the actual plastic moulding. It was the actual mould to make which makes the injection mould, and they're really quite expensive, but they are good for about 300,000 sets of goggles, depending if they've put anything in the plastic or not. So if it's just straight plastic, then it will last maybe 500,000 impressions in the mold, but if they're using any form of glass fiber in it, it will wear the mold out much more quickly. So that was only the real big expense. Everything else which is in the goggles themselves are all jelly bean parts. Let me just make a point. Let me go and turn myself off on here. LiPo battery, jelly bean part, you know. Plastic case, not. That would need to be manufactured. Bit of elastic band around the back. That's almost jelly bean. I hate in inverted commas. Antennas in there. Inside the receiver, really straightforward. The switches, jelly bean parts. The fan is a jelly bean part. The screen is a jelly bean part. The lenses are probably jelly bean parts. And what do I mean when I'm saying jelly bean parts? I mean that you could just buy it off the shelf, you know, and it's the combination of the parts put together. And obviously there's going to be a few unique parts in there, like obviously the strap actually needs to be made for it. But the inside components, none of this is rocket science. It's all been done before. So yeah, Eachine going up yours to Fat Shark. I think it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait for some decent reviews to come out on this one. And yeah, genuinely excited. Again, you can let me know what you think of it on here. So let's have a quick look down on here. Your chat. Alan says, I want an Eachine goggle as soon as it's available. I wouldn't mind them as a second pair. I've got some VR07s and they're just not good. And me and Dave were chatting about them the other day. They're not great, but then I think I only paid about 20 quid for them, so I'm not complaining. So Alex says, mine sharp screen up to 1280 by 720 high contrast, brilliant, happy days. ET, there is IPD on those goggles. Again, do go and take a look yourself in there. Wow, 2 coffee stirrers as well. Yeah, we all know we're going to rip those off. And by the way, they're RP SMA ones, so it's the one with the hole inside for them. And Gordon, just looking at your chat as well, and again you can see the chat going on above me. It says, my first goggles were the Hobby King Quantum V2s. Just got my HD3s and loved them. happy days. Excuse me, with LaForge. And again, apologies for the cough. That cold is still kicking around here at the moment. So, yeah, happy days. Anyway, have a look. In short, I think $100, nuts. And if anything, it can be only a good thing for us all to try and drive down the price and on this format of goggles. That can only be a good thing for us. So whatever deficiency you find in these Eachine goggles, my reply to you is going to be $99.99. Straightforward as that. Now, topic number 2 is don't mention the penguin. I'm sorry. I really like the Nano Talon. And true to my word, I said when they would come up for sale again. I was waiting for the promo, the pre-orders to finish because they were turned into alert me on arrival because apparently there was a manufacturing challenge getting them out in time. And good news, literally today you can go on and buy them. And I've been and bought myself a spare. I really like my Nano Talon. I can't say anything more than that. And I managed to get a flight in on the weekend. And I did my best to stay within all the limits of what you're allowed to do. And we clocked up a cumulative total of 14.2 miles of distance travelled. Now, obviously, I need to stay within the confines of what I can post on YouTube, in short, within UK law of FPV. And I did my best to that. And again, it would have been great if it was a 7-mile trip out and a 7-mile trip back. Hey, look, we've got an L9R in it. It's potentially, it could do it, in short. And that was the potential which I wanted to share with you. I like it, the little penguin. It flies really well, and it will cruise around on like 2 to 3 amps. I think it's a great little model. You just click it in, and off you go. I am a fan, and I don't think I can really do any more mods to it because I think it's pretty damn good at the moment. So happy days. So we got that video out. That was just me making the point to the mini Talon crew, those of you which have got mini Talons and absolutely love your mini Talons, is that there's another option out there. It's called the Nano Talon, or as my pet little name, it's called the Penguin. Brilliant. Right, I tell you what, let's move to Shout Out Corner. So this is the part where I get to say a very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you. So let's go and scroll up, and I'm sure I missed someone. So if I do miss your name, I do apologise. So good morning, Brad. Good morning, TT. Good morning, Nathan, as well. Scrolling down. Good morning, Lee. We've all been having a chit chat here first thing in the morning. Good morning, Elijah, as well. Scrolling down. Good morning, Andy. Keep on going. Keep on going. Dang the stupid password. Good morning, Keith. By the way, good morning, Joe. Sorry to hear about the model. I will go and take a look at that in a few moments' time. Scrolling down. Good morning, Lauren, as well. Nice for you to join us today, live. And any of you can see the camera, because I was there smiling my face off. Excuse me. And I'm going to have to mute myself a moment. Excuse me. Cool. Like I said, that cold really is lorrying around. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Gordon, as well. Scrolling down, keep on going. Good morning, Austin, as well. You're up early this morning. Good morning, Alistair. Akoi, good morning too. E.T., good morning. Obsolete X, good morning. John, good morning. Alistair, good morning. Scrolling down. James, good morning as well. Hope it's nice and sunny over there in Ireland for you today. Roddy, good morning. Jim, good morning. Slowmo FPV, good morning too. Kermit's, good morning. The Guinness, good morning. John, good morning. Arthur, good morning. And Paul, good morning. And Aussie FPV. And apologies if I've been and missed your name this morning. As you can tell, it's been quite lively up there in the chat. So far we've been and covered the Eachine gogglers and don't mention the penguin. And the next topic is that I've got a new Scooby. And I'd like to introduce you to my new Scooby. And I don't know how well you can see that. And again, it's just looking at my face, so we'll see if we can get to focus. There we go. There's my new Scooby, my Scooby Scoop on the AR Stealth Wing. Now, those of you which know about my approach for the AR Stealth Wing is that I purposely kept away from all other mentions of it, not to go on and bias my own review for this model. And unfortunately, is that I think this mod, the AR Stealth Wing, was set up as being a direct competitor to the Reptile S800, and it definitely does have some positive attributes over the S800. And the bit which was bugging me, and it really did bug me for about 2 days before we did the final review and we got the video out for you, is that the AR Stealth Wing is twice the money of a Reptile S800, and I do not feel that it's twice the model. That's the irony, and I kept that in the back of my mind, because the Reptile S800 is what, say $45. The AR Stealth Wing, which is also basically exactly the same as the ready-made RC Recruit Wing, is exactly the same except for different stickers, and they've included a stabilizer in it, which is the same stabilizer which we've got in the Orbit and the Nano Talon as well. So anyway, coming back to my point is that it just couldn't get it out of the back of my head. Is that it's twice as expensive as the Reptile S800, and it's not twice the model. Okay, that there are some definite bonus points to it: bigger fuselage, bigger wingspan. Wow, does it fly fast? In short, but there are some serious issues with this wing. Number one is cooling. Okay, I really do mean that, and there's a conversation going on in the Facebook group at the moment. Bill started it this morning or last night, and I wouldn't use this wing as a long range or even medium range FPV in its current form out of the box, because it's just lacking cooling in there. Seriously, no cooling. The little knacker ducts which we did have in there, which you can just about see the remains of it up underneath that lid, just there, is just absolutely no good at all. And what we've got now is a great big Scooby Scoop on the top, and I've been and put an exit hole here as well. And don't worry, I've got a video which is rendering over on the other computer. We got a nice big exit hole there, and I've also been and done the same down. Whoa, that's not going to work, but you'll have to take my word for it. I am down here somewhere, and I've got another exit hole up on the bottom as well, just to get some airflow through this model, because I was that concerned about it. Talking about concern as well, again, I can't believe I've seen another 2 videos on this. Nobody else has picked this up yet. These wings, what was happening is that the wing was creasing across here. The servo hole is just weakened the wing too much, and what I've been and done is that I've got some 6mm by 1mm carbon fibre strip along the leading edge and going across the back as well, and that has really made it wedding tackle grade now, because when we had it at, say, 100 miles an hour, however fast, I don't know how fast it was going, but it was bloody fast, is that it was shaking, and it wasn't waggle. It did exhibit waggle, which is, to be honest, to be a little bit expected, because there just isn't the weight in the model to penetrate the sky to get over that. We did have some waggle in it, but nothing major. But it was the shaking which we had, and the shaking, I swear blind, was down to those wingtips, and I will get proven right or wrong on whether it was those wingtips causing that, because I've been and stiffened both of my wings up with loads of carbon strip, and we will find out next time we go out and fly it. So it is a good model. Let's not knock it too much. It's not twice the model of an S800, which I think what that model was being specifically aimed at. That said, if you're new to FPV, I think I did this in the summary video, in the full review. If you're new to FPV and you want a starting wing, Reptile S800. Those things are tough as old boots. Perfect wing for you. You can smash it up and you're not going to cry about it. Okay, in fact, good luck smashing it up. I tried. Whereas that maybe you've already owned an S800 and you want to be able to run more battery, for example, you want a longer flight time, maybe you want a faster model, because it is definitely faster, then the AR Stealth Wing would be a good upgrade path for you. Just be aware it's that much more expensive, but you can fit a great big battery in it, and you will need to mod it a little bit. And there are some other issues with like the push rods being utter jokes, and they're just really flexible. And there's a few other tweaks which you need to make to it. But yeah, it's not perfect, is what I'm trying to say. But a few tweaks and we'll get it that way. And happy days. So let's have a quick look at your chat. And again, you can see the chat going on above my head. Yeah, ET, the S800 is on sale right now. Absolutely. Phil, good point. That was 3D printed scoops. You can look them up on Thingiverse. That's not actually a Scooby scoop. That was a scoop for, I can't remember what that was for now. That is the cup off the back of a mini Talon, Mark VQ, I think his name is, or Mark Q. Just look up mini Talon scoop, and that's the scoop you're supposed to go around the other way to scoop air in, to go in the back end of a motor on a mini Talon. And I remember printing a couple of different sizes off here for my own uses, and there was I'm just calling it a Scooby scoop for the top. Again, because you just need to get air in that nose. There's no other place to get air in, because normally your camera's in that hole there, and I thought about getting the side vents in the side, and that just wouldn't work. And I thought about side exits through here, through the sides as well, but again, that just wouldn't work because of there's a spar in the way inside. And the ESC, everything was just too hot in there. There was just not enough airflow, so I did class it as to a point I was seriously concerned about cooling. And I have now taken it to a whole new level, a matte kind of level. And we got a Scooby scoop on the back, and we got 2 exit holes, one on the bottom, one on the top. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I like it. Just needs a bit of tweaking. We'll get that out flying for the weekend, in short. Let's go have a quick. Can you Aussie FPV says, can you print a scoop on Thingiverse? Yeah, it's on Thingiverse. I don't know the exact link right now. I haven't put it in the video description. I will put it in. I've got a longer video on its way out. It's about 1 hour and 12 minutes. We're just having a chit chat on the bench, you know. And I'll put links to, well, I'll go and find it and put it in there. Let's have a quick look. Alistair McC says, Matt, I fixed the shaking issue with the rainbow by aero profiling the winglet edges. Alistair, can you do me a favour? Can you stick a photograph of what you've done in the Facebook group? I'd be really curious to see what you've been undone on there. Paul says, anyone know where you can get a roll of laminating foil? eBay. In short, 75 micron is about 20 quid, or you can buy 2 rolls. I've got massive rolls here because I do get through it a lot. And yeah, it's really easy to work with. And again, it's because it's clear, and because you get like 100 meters of it, you're not really phased if you make a screw up when you first get to using it. And good morning, Van, as well. So that was the AR Stealth Wing. Let's have a quick look. Oh, there is a note which I've got for you in here. Is that, do you feel, okay, I'm really curious on your feedback. For the AR Stealth Wing, what I could have done, and what I normally would have done, grab the wing, is that I would have done a maiden video, I would have done an FPV maiden video, and then maybe we'd have done a review at the end. And we maybe separated that into maybe 2 or 3 videos. Whereas this time around, I actually decided to put it all in one. So we had an introduction, we had the line of sight maiden, then we got back to the desk, then we had the FPV maiden, and then we had the final review. And unfortunately, we did have 11 things to go through at the end. So I know the summary piece at the end was longer, but then we did have a large amount of things to cover with this wing, because I knew what was going to happen. I knew that this was going to hit the market, and someone would go on and say it's the best wing ever, it's their new favourite, and they would glaze over the glaringly apparent issues with it. So did you find that format, did you like that format? Did you like the all-in-one video? Or maybe would you have preferred the line of sight maiden, the FPV maiden, and then a review at the end? I don't know. Let me know what you think. You can do that in the chat. Again, it was something which I've not tried before. Yeah, Alistair, stick it in a PM then on YouTube. That would be great as well. ET says it's November here in the UK. You must have overslept. Yeah, it's horrible out there at the moment, ET. Absolutely horrible. Excuse me. Okay, that leaves us with two topics. One which I actually didn't put in the list this morning. This is absolutely hilarious. And I'm sure Lewis won't mind me sticking this on here. And it's absolutely brilliant. Now, this is the Twin Zoo. And I'd like for you to look, and there's a link to this in the video description. I'd like for you to look out for the smoke trails. Okay, so for you to be able to see this, I'm going to turn off the chat and myself, and let's go and put that on. Now, look out for the smoke trails. Okay, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Let's move that out of the way. One, two. What are the chances of that? Lewis, you are the man. Absolutely freaking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And he gets it down, lands it. But he's been and smoked a pair of motors on the Twin Zoo. Look, there's one. And there's the other. I have never, ever seen that before. So, Lewis, I take... Oh, hang on. Click on there. And get your chat back as well. Lewis, I bow to you. That was absolutely brilliant. Well done. Absolutely well done, Lewis. That was just absolutely amazing. And I think that's definitely worthy of mention on the Rank the Nuts Off channel, because I've never seen anybody do that before. Burning out one motor, but burning out two. Well done, Lewis. Very, very good man. Right, moving on to the last topic of the day, which is the 48, which I'm sure some of you may have already been seen in the Facebook group, is that I did finally get out and maiden it. Now, I knew it was going to be loud. I didn't realise how loud it was going to be. The propeller was really, really close to the back end of the model. But I'm really glad to be able to report that this wing is absolutely monstrous. It's 48 inches wide. Absolutely bonkers. And I finally got it up and flying. Currently it's the noisiest model which I've got, mainly because of the huge motor, the huge prop, and that prop is so close to the back of the model, and the back of the foam is so thick. If you'd like to see the maiden of that, the shameless plug, there is a link to that in the Facebook group, and we are going to go on and tweak that one a little bit more so we can quieten it down. We'll move the motor back, and now I know where the CG needs to be, is that I can go on and work on that one a little bit more. So do expect to see a little bit more about the Team Legit 48 over the next couple of weeks, as well as we progress that one through. Joe says he's fired. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I've never seen too much. I've burnt motors up here before. I've had it on film too. But I've never done a pair of them in one go. So yeah, 10 out of 10, Lewis. And like I said, there's a link to that in the Facebook group, in the video description below for you, as for everything else which we've been uncovered here. So anyway, it's time for us to wrap up this morning. Excuse me. So what did we cover live here this morning? Oh, we had a little chit chat about some new FR Sky receivers and flight controllers built in. One to watch for the future, to see how viable they are, specifically for iNav. Okay, that's the bit which I'm interested in them. If you're a quad pilot, then you may be interested in them because it cuts down on wiring, it cuts down on space, you know. It reduces the amount of footprint you have inside of a model. That could be very much an interest for you. We spoke about the Eachine gogglers. I think it's absolutely brilliant, okay, even if they're nowhere as good as a pair of fat shots. I think it really is a pair of fingers up at fat shot going, you are grossly overpriced and you failed to innovate. And I'm sure I'm not alone in those feelings. And again, I've got a pair of fat shot and V3s. I like them, but they're too expensive. And there are I wouldn't buy another pair. In short, they are good, but they're not worth $350. So if it takes a Chinese manufacturer to now come along, or fellow Chinese manufacturer to come along and kick you in the knackers and go make the point, well, actually you are grossly overpriced, then that is classed as happy days. That's only got to be a good thing for us as consumers. The other topic which we covered was don't mention the penguin. 14-mile cumulative flight. What was it? 22,000 meters, 22 kilometers, over 14.2 miles traveled with the little penguin. And yes, I know I was only dawdling about. And by the way, I probably could have done a little bit of thermal in that day, but I didn't. In short, I just wanted to keep it powered on just to see what the battery pack was like. And we landed on, I think it was 14.7 volts on the battery meter, literally as we landed. So it showed about 12% left, something like that. And obviously, we given the battery chance to recover, that would have gone back up. Something which I will be doing is setting up an 18650 battery pack for the little penguin. And I'm super stoked with that one. And I said, one chance for another one comes in is that I will go and order another one. And literally this morning at about 4:30ish when I noticed, I've been and bought myself a spare. It's an expensive spare, don't get me wrong, but I really do like my little penguin. The other topic was the AR Stealth Wing with now my big Scooby on the top. If you are going to get yourself one of these, for God's sake, put some cooling in it. I've just seen the microphone started working again. Yeah, it's not safe without cooling. So get some cooling in the model, that's for sure. And the wingtips, too flexible. They were way too flexible. Mine's now wedding tackle grade because I've stuck 2 great big chunks of carbon fibre in it. So I'm a happy bunny. So look out for that for the Stealth Wing. The other topic which we covered was Lewis. Man, Lewis, different league. I salute you. Good man, good man. And then we also spoke about the Team Legit 4D8 as well. Also, to give you a heads up, there is an hour's worth of rambling on its way up to YouTube later this morning. I will post it in to the Facebook group first, and it's us having a chit chat, just fixing some of the issues on the AR Stealth Wing. So we're just having a chit chat at the bench. So look out for that one later today at some point. So on that note, yes, you are late. So Bruce, I've just noticed you up in the chat above my head. So Bruce, you're going to have to hit rewind and join us back at the beginning. Now, actually, Bruce or anybody else, if you have any questions or comments about anything which we have been covered here today, please just ask in the comments section underneath this video. If it's your first time here, this is a RC Coffee Chat. We run them every single Wednesday. If you would like to be notified of the next episode, underneath this video where it says Matthew Ogborn, and I'm Matt, by the way, howdy, is that if you press the subscribe button, click on that button, and YouTube will let you know the next time a episode is out. And on that note, it's wetter than a otter's pocket here today, so there'll be no flying going on here in the Bristolia, but hopefully during getting towards the end of this week it's going to cheer up a bit, and next week also looks a lot calmer as well, so that's happy days. So it's time for me to go. If you are out flying today, have a fantastic day's flying, and if you and again, if you are, please stick a battery in for me. I've got to get my head down and get a load of work done today, and it doesn't look like we're going to be flying out until later this week, straight the weekend. And on that note, from myself, Matt, see you next Wednesday. Cheerios!